everyone, it's Jess from Savant Recruitment. I wanted to pop in with another Notion video regarding an elephant in the room right now, Glassdoor Fishbowl, and essentially the candidate experience. So there's a lot going on in the market right now. We're sitting in 2024. A lot of layoffs are happening in the startup space. And I wanted to make this video because I've seen some pretty abysmal reviews on Glassdoor recently. And sometimes at some of these companies that specifically, whether I've worked at them or a candidate or employee was working at them, a big sentiment sometimes across the executive team is, do Glassdoor reviews and our Fishbowl reviews really matter? Or are they just disgruntled employees? And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say, yes, they do matter. They matter for your employer brand. They matter for your talent acquisition process. They matter because every single day people are on Glassdoor looking to see what kind of company that you are running, profitable or not. And there is no soul being expensed. So I wanted to chat about this and what's going on in the market and kind of how to get ahead of it so that you don't end up on the naughty list on Glassdoor or Fishbowl. So now more than ever, your reputation on Glassdoor is going to be a determinant on whether or not you're going to be able to attract talent to your organization in 2024. I know the platform's been around for a very, very long time. What I will say is this, unfortunately, some executive teams that, I've worked with before in the past, not the whole team, but leaders, they really, some leaders will sit there and argue with you about if that presence really matters. And so when, you're someone like myself in recruitment and dealing with talent acquisition, and you're trying to recruit talent to the company, and the candidates are like, okay, well, the Glassdoor reviews are not great, then it kind of poses the question of, okay, do we need to make some changes internally here, or do we need to just make some changes so that we can start cleaning things up? Unfortunately, there's been, pushback and denial. And the thing is they're out there. It's on a public platform now. You can't really do anything about it. And you either need to take it, you can take it with a grain of salt, or you can take these reviews really seriously and decide to change some things. And so I've been able to see companies not turn it around, and I've been able to see companies that have been able to turn it around. But just know that because there is such a lack of trust in the market right now, that candidates really want to see that they're going to a place that they can trust. So we live in an experience-driven world. It's time to adapt your processes so that your presence doesn't become abysmal on the websites and setting your team up for potential failure in the long run. It's very important to get this done right the first time, instead of fluffing off these websites as a place for disgruntled workers to go. The world of work is changing. It's changing, and it's changing rapidly. The candidate market is screaming for it right now, and faith in leadership teams is gone. So how do you set yourself up for success as a startup? So according to the talent board, two of the top three reasons candidates around the world withdraw from the process are: my time was disrespected during the interview process, and the recruiting process took too long. And that is a sentiment I specifically have been hearing from candidates right across the board. And I've worked with clients on tightening their process as well. 54% of candidates have abandoned a recruitment process due to poor communication from the recruiter or employer. This is just unacceptable. 62% of candidates would prefer an automated system that manages the interview process efficiently rather than a lengthy back and forth communication. 86% of Glassdoor users read company reviews, which is huge, and ratings before applying to the roles. 55% of job seekers who talked to Glassdoor said reading a negative review of a company caused them not to apply. 86% obviously is a huge number. We can't turn away from this right now. So 77% of employers globally report difficulty finding the skill talent they need versus 35% a decade earlier. That jump, yeah, that's not good. 72% of candidates say the smoothness of an interview process would affect their final decision on whether or not to take a job. So people have become accustomed to positive experiences in user design, customer service. I'm sure if you were looking at a restaurant review and you saw the restaurant had like 3.2 star ratings and not great reviews, you probably wouldn't go there to eat. So just like that, candidates are judging you. Why should they give you their time and effort if you're not spending the time maintaining your business and the employee experience on the end, candidate experience on the inside? So although it is different, we have to start looking at it kind of like the same thing here, that the candidates and employees are essentially your customers. So 64% of global talent professionals predict that the future of recruiting will be more favorable to candidates and employees as opposed to employers over the next 5 years. Keep in mind that this article that I pulled the content from was January 2024. 60% of the same group of talent leaders say that their company will invest more in employer branding. 77% of global workers feel a company's values and purpose, including sustainability, diversity, and transparency, are more important when selecting an employer. And then research shows the candidate drop-off rate for people who click apply but never complete an application is a whopping 92%. 34% of candidates in 2022 reported not hearing back from employers 2 months after they applied. Only 58% of candidates said they received an automated thank you message after completing an application. Another one, so onboarding, I mentioned this in the last video. It's one of the most important things that you're going to do for your organization. So a well-organized onboarding process contributes to a positive employee engagement and can contribute to long-term employment. Surprisingly, a significant portion of companies do not have a system to manage onboarding. 77% of new hires with high onboarding satisfaction said they could see themselves having a long career at their organization, compared to just 29% of those with low onboarding satisfaction. And 42% of companies did not have an onboarding solution. This is not okay. So if you are interested in having an onboarding process and getting one done, I can do that for you. I used to be an onboarding manager. If you're interested in potentially getting an onboarding process set up for you and your organization, I'm going to leave my Calendly in the description box below. Definitely let's get on a call and let's discuss kind of what's going on at the company. But I wanted to power through this. So what not to do. Do not ask your employees to leave you positive Glassdoor reviews. This will backfire on you and you will be called out on a Glassdoor review. Don't start a hiring process with no structured onboarding plan in place before you go to market. Don't let months and months pass without having a pulse check with your teams. Usually a good time to have a pulse check with your team, I would say, would be every single quarter, just to see how they're feeling, if anything could change, if there's any suggestions. And yeah, just take it from there. And, some obviously you can take with a grain of salt, but some do need to be taken seriously because it's the overall culture. And if you don't fix your culture, it's going to end up on a Glassdoor review. Don't do reviews only once a year. Anyone that is responsible for a review process, whether that's a hiring manager or an executive, that should be done on a regular basis. And then, so again, I'd probably say every quarter. If you wanted to do that, you can do it 2 or 3 times a year. Don't promote individual contributors into management without providing them resources for continuous training and or getting a trainer. This one is a doozy. I see it all the time happen at companies where, management will think, okay, this person's a great individual contributor. Let's just move them into a management position. And the person comes in and absolutely bombs the position because of various factors, whether they're not able to get the team aligned, not able to get buy-in from the team. There's a lot of factors that come into it. And more, the lack of trust that's happening in the market is because people are moving in and their managers are making their job so much more stressful than they need to be. And so with a proper trainer to help train some of these individual contributors before you end up moving them into a management position, it would just set you up so much better for success. If you need a resource, I've partnered with Scale HR. We can definitely help you out on that. And then, yeah, don't not prioritize the feedback that you're getting from employees and candidates. You got to think of them like they're still your customers, and you need to look at them as such. So with that, you have to think, like, when you think of mentality of your company, you have to think that every person that either comes through your doors as a candidate or an employee at every stage of their career needs some sort of onboarding process always. And I think that we tend to forget that sometimes. Once you get this nailed down, your chances for running a more successful organization with less bottlenecking becomes more possible. If you've enjoyed this content, you want to see more content, if you'd like to book in a call with me, if you would like the onboarding process that I have developed for startups and you want me to send that to you, or if you'd like me to make a Notion to go over those steps with you in a video, that's no problem. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my Calendly link in the description box below, as well as my email if you are interested in getting in contact with me so that you could receive these resources. I'd love to jump on a call with you. And until next time, we will chat soon, and I should be back next week with a new video. I look forward to it. Thanks.